Thank you very much. You're welcome back. This is Newsfile, and it's brought to you by Bank of Africa, strong as a group and close as a partner. MTN, welcome to the New World Star Assurance. They've been creating smiles since 1985 and celebrating 30 years of solid partnership. And NIIT, they are bringing people and computers together successfully. And when people and computers come together successfully, a lot of wonders can happen. Now, in the earlier discussion about the attack, criminal attack on Bai Chamfo, Pius did suggest that they had suspicions that Bai Chamfo had gone to Atimpoku to seek to recruit people to do some wrong, to sort of soil Nanado's name. And when he was making that comment, he said Bai Chamfo was accompanied by Bobie Ansa, or that it is Bobie who took him there. Bobie has told me that there is absolutely no truth in what Pius said, and that it is untrue. Yes, he has a business in the place. Bai Chamfo is his friend, and he travels with him sometimes. So that is how come they are able to make the suspicion. But the truth is that he never took Bai Chamfo to the place and to assist him to recruit people to do any wrong. And that as far as he knows, even the claims that Bai Chamfo went there to recruit people to do the things that are being said are false, untrue. Now, some messages from Michael Amening. Well, you made your statement. He has a right to of a rejoinder, and he has done so. So thank you.
I find it contradictory.
Michael Amening in the UK says, Jifar Ativo's tribal comment is very reckless and irresponsible. And I urge all Voltarians, especially disgruntled NDC members and sympathizers who are fed up with the performance of President Mahama, to disregard her comments and vote against this incompetent government, because Voltarians can't shield corrupt ministers of President Mahama. If Jifar Ativo knows that she has done anything wrong in discharging her duties as a former minister, whatever, then she should take care of it. Bonti Benjamin says it is better to have a government that will protect the public purse and make people account for their stewardship, since it's part of our governance process, than to keep a government that is willing to protect thieves and corrupt officials by hook or crook. Jifar Ativo's tribal comment is uninspiring to the young women out there and must be treated with the highest contempt it deserves. Ghana Abre. Ibrahim Kopa says fundamentally it must be established that there is no material evidence that points to the fact that those alleged macho men who allegedly attacked Bai Chamfo are MPP members. For anyone or group of persons to associate the so-called attack to MPP is a figment of their fixated political imagination. You're saying a lot of things. Eh? Okay, thank you. Let's move on. Oliver Bamba says that the attack on Bai Chamfo is a vivid manifestation of growing intolerance in the NPP, and the quicker they find a lasting solution to it, the better for them. Atai Moro says that the attack from Wellensley says the attack on Chamfo could be a planned one. Remember, the communication director himself was in the studio to put the record straight. If he wanted to attack, he wouldn't want to seek to correct those wrongful impressions. Okay, don't get it. It doesn't come out clearly. Kwabena Odro Kwating in New York says that we must call a spade a spade. Charlotte says is trying to leave a mark on the EC, and her actions are clearly too narcissistic. Okay, we'll get to Charlotte say issues, even though the issues are issues of the Electoral Commission. We seem to want to make a discussion focused on her. But let's see how we do continue with that discussion shortly. Are you a public service worker and need a loan to meet that dire financial need? Here is some good news for you. Apply for a loan from Bank of Africa and you are sure of getting your loan approved within 48 hours. Enjoy up to 5 hours to repay, get a discount on fees, and ultimately start repaying the loan after 3 months. And that's good news coming from Bank of Africa. Bank of Africa, you have them all over in the country. Strong as a group and close as a partner. How much do you love browsing the internet? Let's be honest. Some of us, we are hooked, and you are also hooked. We all are hooked. That's why MTN is offering special individual packages just for you. With MTN 138, you get 7 perfect packages to choose from. MTN 138, 7 special packages to pick from. The choice is solely yours. You are in charge. Browse and do more of the things you love for less. So go on, pick your perfect internet package today. Dial *138#, *138# now, and say welcome to the new world. Star Assurance, that is the insurance company that makes you feel like the dangers that exist in this world don't exist at all. Insure with Star Assurance today and be part of a smiling family. Is it the homeowners, contractors, all risk, fire and allied perils insurance policy that you're seeking? That is the best place to go. Is it a travel or motor policy that you seek? Go to Star Assurance. Star Assurance, that is your solid partner. You can get them at starassurance.com or visit any of their offices nationwide. Their contact is 030-224-0632. Also, Prostacure Tea is a special formulated health drink that improves the following urinary problems in men: frequent urination during the day, delayed urination, straining during urination, urgency to urinate, interruption of urine flow. Whatever it is that you have that's a problem as far as urination is concerned, Prostacure from Medimosis Prostate Center is what you need. You can locate them at Denta Barrier, Tema, Ajay Kojo, or Ahenema Kokobing in Kumasi. You can call 020-8140-668 or 0244-068447. We are going to talk about the Electoral Commission, and let's go and listen to what Charlotte Osei, who is the Commission's boss, had to say on the branding and cost of the branding that is being done by her outfits. Let's listen to her.
First, there's the logo, and it's ongoing. It's not even finished. We haven't gone doing signage. We haven't done our vehicles. We usually don't even do our vehicles. I'm not sure we intend to.
But do you know how much we spent so far?
I couldn't tell you.
But those figures are there.
Sorry?
Are those figures there? Can we find out?
Of course they're there. I mean, there's a process, and people have to understand that we work within a budget. The EC is independent, but is also subject to laws. So we go through audits. We're audited by the Auditor General, and they go and they look and they make sure we've gone through right process, due process. We've spent within budget. We don't just have unlimited funds. And a lot of the reform process going on is also supported by donors, because donors have been working with us and trying to help us ensure that we finish the internal reforms, because we keep putting electoral reforms on top of the same structure. The structure must support the reforms and the things, how you're carrying your mandates. And so there's a lot of donor support for the internal reforms that are going on. We did not open up invitations for people to send logos in, because as we explained, the logo has to represent where we're going to as a brand and as an institution. So it's not just about putting colors together. It had to represent something. We were also benchmarking internationally. We did look at logos of other electoral commissions. And it's important that we work very closely with other electoral commissions. They visit us, we look at their strategic plans, we exchange information, we exchange, we study visits are always going on. So there is a process. A logo is not just an artistic competition. It has to stand for something. We went through a process, and no, my husband did not design it. He's not a graphic artist. We went through a process, and I'm not even the only one married to a graphic artist, by the way. We went through a process in terms of developing the brand and what we wanted the brand to stand for. We engaged internally. We made inquiries. We had people bring. We selected as a commission, and that's why I said we selected it and we like it. If the Turkish institute,
Educational Institute,
we plagiarized their logo.
that is the claim.
Then they certainly have rights under the law. We don't feel we've plagiarized their logos. And if you look internationally, there are many logos that look
But
alike.
have you seen that logo, by the way?
I have. I don't think it looks like mine. I like mine better. So we like it. We are comfortable as a commission that it represents the values and the brand we want and the image we want to portray, and it supports our strategic direction.
That's the commissioner, the commission chair of the Electoral Commission, Charlotte Osei. You remember that in the course of this week, what she has done, or the Electoral Commission has done, is that they have unveiled a 5-year strategic plan. And this is where the occasion where she was speaking. And on the back of the comments that she made or the statements that she read, she has come in for a lot of flack. We are going to look at those issues. So that's what she had to say about the branding and the cost of the branding. They have a new logo. And she said they saw it, they liked it, and they are happy with it. People are not happy about that comment, for example. So let's deal with that. But can we add that to the question of whether or not the logo was plagiarized, and any matters may come up, and her response to that? She spoke about, there was a question to her, and this was her response. Let's listen to that also, whether or not the logo was plagiarized. Okay, it's been part of the sound that has already been played. Thank you very much. And before we ended the last issue we looked at, I intended to bring this up, but I seem to have escaped me. President Rawlings said that Nutifafa Kwenyanya should be the one to testify to Nana Addo's stature, whether or not he is tribalistic or not. Somehow, in the course of that week, he also spoke at a very important function and actually went to the defense of Nana Addo. He said that he had been with him for 2 generations. He had known him for 2 generations. That's how long he's been associated with him. And they have worked with various groupings and situations where persons of various tribes had come together, and he could say that Nana Addo was not tribalistic. I just noted that in the graphic publication, but it escaped me. All right. Now, Kweku, as far as the 5-year strategic plan of the EC is concerned, what are our problems with the EC in the manner they intend to position that body regarding how they went about their interaction with the media?
Well, unfortunately, I didn't have the opportunity to be at the event.
Okay.
I really didn't even know about it. It's Kaba, your colleague, who called my attention to it after the event. But I've since...
you couldn't follow it on radio?
Yes,
oh,
yes.
I see.
Completely blank. I was distracted by some domestic
it was
challenges.
all over.
Yes, I was surprised. So I had sound bites on Kaba's program, and then of course I've read some publications. And unfortunately, I got a copy 2 days ago of the plan.
Right.
It's quite not too bulky, and it's quite readable.
Yes.
Yes. It's been well captured, very well presented. I don't have anything in principle against the vision and the mission and the objectives that they've set out here. If those things can be implemented, all well and good for the EC and the country's image, as well as the electoral system, the integrity and efficiency of the electoral system. but there have been issues as to the timing of, focusing on this.
Right.
Some thought that it should be after the 2016 elections, and so as to be able to focus properly on this particular election and execute such things after. That's something that is subject to debate, But otherwise, even though I haven't finished doing any serious scrutiny, immediately I think it's a good document, and they need resources. The key thing is the resources and the commitment to execute, operationalize this particular thing. It will take a lot of effort.
It's an expensive project,
yes,
you can say.
Yes, very expensive project, and they will need the support of everybody, all the stakeholders, donor community, as well as the state and government to get this thing done. So the principle is okay for me, to be honest. The vision, the mission, the agenda, all those things are okay for me. As I said, timing. I don't want to belabor that issue, even though if you asked me, I would have said this great idea, this noble mission could have been deferred post the elections. That's the only point I have. Having said that, the elements, the logo thing, I'm clear in my mind that that was an exercise that ought not to have been considered at all.
You had said earlier that you wish that some elements of the national, national emblems would have been featured.
That is if it was so necessary. If it was so necessary to change the logo. I don't think it was necessary to change the logo. I think it's completely unnecessary to change it. The original logo really is representative of our history, our culture, and our spirituality as a nation. And so I thought that should have been retained, in my candid opinion. In their wisdom, they've decided to change it. And the new one really doesn't excite me. I don't see much Ghanaian in there. I don't see it. It's the red, gold, green that we are told perhaps comes close to something Ghanaian. So I really don't think, and it's going to be expensive in that segment alone. Even though I thought I heard Madame Osei indicating that it would not necessarily be put on their vehicles and things. Did I hear that? Did you hear that?
Yes, she said so.
Something like that. But how
people have said that's going to be part of the cost.
Yes.
They will need to rebrand everything across the country.
Yes. But minus that. How about their letterheads? How about their offices?
Definitely the letterheads have to change, and they have changed already.
And it's expensive. But questions of accountability have been raised. The procurement processes. How was it done? Who did what? And all those. Those are legitimate questions. It can be asked of any other state institution. So I think we will need answers eventually. She was asked about a financial outlay. She couldn't immediately give the answer. I have no problem with that. Those things do happen. She might not have come to the place with all those documentation, but it's something that is available and accessible. So once the question is being asked, it's incumbent on the EC to, as soon as possible, provide us with the figures, how much is going into this. It's important. If you don't do that...
For some people, it is how she communicated that. That is the problem that they have. Not exactly that she's saying that you will not be told how much it costs.
Yes, I'm aware people have spoken about even the tone, body language, and all those things. People have said so. People have actually imputed, suggested that amounts to arrogance. It's marks of arrogance, the way she answers some questions. Maybe some elements here and there. I see a little bit more confidence in her, but if you are not careful, there could be a very thin line between arrogance and confidence, depending on who you are talking to.
We mix the two a lot in this country, right?
Yes, we do. So, again, I'm prepared to give Madame Charlotte Osei the benefit of the doubt in terms of this new career, this chairmanship of the EC, allow time and space for me to be able to do a very serious analysis of a level of competence and authority and all the rest. But there are few things happening that, because they're coming together, it could create some integrity crisis for the commission. And the earlier they avoid some of those things, the better. But otherwise, this document that I have here and I've read, I hardly have anything against it.
Okay, we'll certainly will return to you. Now, Kobe, what do you make of the strategic plan? I'm sure you would have gone through it. It's available to all of us now. You have your copy, right?
No, I don't have.
You don't have a copy yet?
No.
I see. Okay. But you haven't had the opportunity to read it?
No, I had the opportunity to listen to Madame Charlotte.
Okay, go through
outline,
it. Okay.
On the day of the launch.
Right.
And like Koko said, I think that it's, as a people, we must encourage all our institutions to have plans going forward. They should not just be shooting from the hip and operating on a day-to-day basis without a plan. So long as there is a plan, yes, it is important that as a people we also are aware of the plan so that we can fit in and help and monitor that.
And this particular plan is for the people. That's what they call it.
Yeah.
For the people.
Yeah, it is very important that we are aware of the plan so that we can also fit in and play our part in helping the plan succeed. Because the success of the plan or the success of execution of the plan means that we as a country will succeed. You understand? So elections have been a source of acrimony and fight in other countries. Fortunately for us, the worst that has happened to us was 8 Met in Supreme Court. And we think that that is bad enough. We shouldn't repeat it. And so if we know the strategic plan going forward, then we can all fit in and work our bit to ensure. So even if the EC itself is going wayward and they are not following their plan, we are able to bring them back to the table and say, look, this is what you told us we are heading to. This is the plan that you have outlined, and that's the way we should go. And the bit about
the vision now is that the Electoral Commission of Ghana will be a benchmark for Africa for enabling independent, trusted, world-class democratic elections for the citizens of Ghana and all the candidates who take part in elections.
Yeah. And I think there's only one bit that I think was missing from that, because she made it clear that, in fact, one of the things why they shifted away from the old logo to the new logo is that the old logo does not encompass the totality of the mandate of the EC. I don't know if you listened to her on that day. She made it clear that the the mandate of the EC goes beyond just elections. It also includes regulating the political parties and making sure that they adhere to the laws of the land and become law-abiding citizens, submit their reports, their monthly, their yearly returns on funding and all those kind of things. So that is what informed the need to
and
change the logo.
Are captured in the new.
Well,
Just asking. I didn't think that you've elaborated.
Her position is that the former logo only represents the voting aspect, the casting of the ballot aspect. But this is more like a more inclusive, bringing everybody. The inward-looking arrows are supposed to be the representative of the people and coming together so as to achieve the whole mandate. I think the whole mandate is represented by the blue background, or you understand. So you can interrogate it. You can make your view, but that is the view of the commission and the thing that going
she
forward.
has some emphasis on the independence of the commission.
Yeah,
and she's come under some criticism also there that she may be overstretching the independence of the commission too far.
No, but here is a person who we just heard her say that yes, the commission is independent, but it is only independent. As far as the law allows it, it is subject to the law. Yeah, she has admitted that. And you see, sometimes when these things go on, the impression is created as though those of us in NDC are being overly defensive of the EC, or we are comfortable with the EC and we don't see anything wrong with it. But you see that it's really nitpicking that is going on. My brother Kweku makes the point that he thought that the timing was wrong. But I thought that no, going into a major election such as we have ahead, it is important that the EC lets us know what they have in mind. And so we take them along together with this election.
Now that you are focusing a bit on the logo, the EC explained why they removed the coat of arms Are you
Was there a
satisfied
coat
with
of arms?
that?
Was there a coat of arms
She
in the
said,
previous one?
we removed the coat of arms because, yes, there is very boldly. We removed the coat of arms because we do not represent the authority of state. In fact, when you look at the document, it is authority of government.
Yeah.
But when she was speaking, she said the authority of state. And we are more than the ballot box, like you said a while ago. Our mandate is beyond the ballot box. The coat of arms does not speak to the independence, legal and functional of the EC. Are these reasons enough for you? Are they good enough for you? Because these are the issues that, you know, a lot of people have criticized there.
Well, I really haven't given it much thought because I know that there is also, how do you call it, a rule with regards to how to use the coat of arms. And I don't know whether that rule is, how that rule applies. I'm not a lawyer and I've not tried to even read the law as a layman to understand it from the layman's point of view. But I just do know that there is a law that exists. Now, this is a commission that should rightly be jealous
There's
of
a law that exists against the wrong use.
Yeah.
Which is criminalized.
Okay. So this is a commission that should rightly be jealous about its independence and wants to create or remove any vestige of suspicion that they are under the thumb of one person or the other.
State,
I'm coming.
coat of arms,
I'm coming.
deprives the EC of his independence. I mean, why are you suffering?
I'm not suffering.
Giving yourself problems.
I am not suffering. I'm trying to understand where they are coming from. You understand?
Sorry.
So, yeah. So, like we could ask, how would the coat of arms put you in the ambit or under the influence of one government or the other? I don't know. We need to find out from her. But from as far as I'm concerned, any move aimed at removing any forms of suspicion or perception that the EC could be under the thumb of one party or the other, it's a good move that should be encouraged.
The coat of arms represents the state.
The coat of arms represents the state. The state for the time being is the authority of the state for the time being is being executed by a government led by the NDC government led by John Dramani.
Thank you. Now let's do this. Let's hear Pius. Let's hear Pius and Kofi. Let's hear Pius and Kofi and come back. Yes. The rebranding agenda and a bit of the logo issues.
Yeah, thank you very much, Samson. I want to associate with my senior brother Kweku on most of the matters that he has raised. I think that my party, the New Patriotic Party, has been associated with the whole process of development of the strategic plan, working with the Electoral Commission and even the consultants from UNDP to have a long-term plan for the Electoral Commission. And I don't find anything wrong with wanting to have a long-term view of how you intend to proceed. Think that even in people's personal lives, people should make plans. And this knee-jerk way of dealing with things must be discouraged.
But you guys are saying this is not a priority for now. When else would it have been, meet? Would it have been right to do this?
I will come to that. Some of you recall that the commission is old, but this particular commissioner is new. And for me, the biggest test yet is the upcoming elections.
And it's Afarijan who started this strategy plan.
This strategy plan, I agree. But her biggest test yet is the conduct of the upcoming elections. And so I thought that the commission should have a certain short-term approach. Because you see, in this country, you can call it a fallow period, but there are political fallow periods that there's not too much pressure on the Electoral Commission. We have a 4-year presidential and parliamentary election cycle, and then the district assembly elections come in the middle of that. Within those times, the Electoral Commission is essentially infallible. So I would have thought, and that's why I say I agree with Kweku, that because, one, she is new on her job, and that, two, it is a major test case, and that, please, she's. Can I go on, please? Huh?
No, but I want to. Is she the
Oh, please. She's the commissioner. The buck stops with her.
She's the chairperson
Of the commission. She's the chairperson of the commission.
She runs the
So the
Commission
so-
of 7 commissioners.
That's right. So I'm saying that the buck stops with her. And for me, I think that even the experiences of the elections, she has not conducted any elections like this before. The experiences of the commission could even better inform.
She has supervised a by-election.
Yes.
Or two so
yes,
far.
yes. But she hasn't conducted a national election in the scale of what is going to happen on November 7th. And you see, people, we learn. It's a learning process. And she cannot, or we cannot assume that somebody is the repository of all knowledge. Once you are on the job, you acquire more experience. And so you get better insight and you can do all that. But they have decided that they want to launch this. In my candid opinion, for me, it's a question of misplacing of priorities. Because you see, I'm looking at how this goes to endanger confidence from ordinary Ghanaians in the Electoral Commission.
Confidence.
Yes,
Okay.
people must see that the Electoral Commission is on top of its job and is ready for the elections.
You don't think people would rather see that now coming out with a plan which all its officers will be expected to follow and Ghanaians become familiar with? That is rather
in 5 years. I would have, in
way.
5 years, I would have thought that a specific plan that deals with the elections. The Electoral Commission has published a certain roadmap that does not even indicate how the register is going to be treated, whether it's in the own timetable that has been published. The question of cleaning the register and at what point the register would have been cleaned does not come up.
They say you're going to follow the law, and CI 91 is clear. They are doing the limited registration, they will finish. The law says within 3 months or so, the exhibition process, everything has to be done. And when all that is done, the various committees that are brought together to help with removing wrong names and all of that, that's a process that will prune the register, isn't it? And then after that, there will be the certified register that will be circulated to the parties.
Yes. So I'm saying that, and all this is going to happen between the limited time of between now and November 7th. And so that's why I'm saying that because of the lack of time, I would have preferred that we focused our attentions on these ones. And we can wait for the fallow period of the Electoral Commission to want to deal with the bigger picture of a 5-year plan, which is fantastic and all that. So for me, but it's a choice. If the Electoral Commission chooses to do this, what it does, and the commentary from people that I have heard, is that it gives the impression that, well, the Electoral Commission may not be taking the 2016 elections too seriously. And they're already talking about elections post-2016. You have one elections in 2016 which has not even, as we speak now, and we are not clear in our minds what the roadmap towards that elections is. So so if I can leave the issue of the strategic plan, well, it's fantastic. I agree that people should have their plan. I thought that the timing was wrong, but that's an aside. For me, the bigger issue, which again confuses all of us and really speaks to the question as to whether the Electoral Commission is well aware of the government of the mandate and the seriousness of the elections that is going to confront us. Whilst we are in a country where 23,000 can determine an election, 40,000 votes can determine an elections, we can go for a third run in this country. I am not getting the sense of urgency and seriousness that must exhume from the Electoral Commission.
What are the indicators that you expect?
Well,
that would have made you, get that sense of urgency. For instance,
we are talking about a logo. At this point in time, what the Electoral Commission wants to spend money on is a logo. When even limited registration, the Electoral Commission cannot advertise that there's going to be a limited registration.
Oh, better than advertising.
Well, I'm saying that, Samson, are you satisfied with what you call advertising? A lot of the places, the responsibility has been shifted onto the political parties. We are in a country where the Electoral Commission cannot get involved in assisting with the training of party agents. And it is only big parties such as the NDC and NPP that are able to train and position agents. There are other parties. And I thought that if there were a serious and a focused political party, you want to spend your money at this point on a logo and something. If you can put the old logo and the new logo out and let the viewers and listeners come to a judgment. I don't know what the new logo means. I see a circle, it's something, I don't know what it means. And you see,
don't know because you don't want to.
Well, because it's
because
meaningless.
now you have been told what each item on the logo means or represents.
Something. Logos like this, when you see them, they must communicate something to you. You mustn't be told for you to understand, because anything can be said.
It's not in every case, is it?
I mean, it should be.
There are many logos that, unless you are told, No.
But for institutions like the Judicial Service, which I will come to, like the Electoral Commission, if you see their logo, you must know that this. I mean, if you see a logo and say there's a ballot box, and somebody is dropping a ballot, you said, your mandate goes beyond elections. I'm saying to you that the core mandate of the Electoral Commission is to conduct elections. That is the number one mandate of the Electoral Commission. It's not advertising.
When you read the Constitution, their mandate includes delimitation of boundaries and all of that within certain periods of time and conducting elections.
That is true, but I'm saying that the core mandate, if you went out there and you asked anybody, what does the Electoral Commission do? The first answer they will give to you.
My question to you was, what indicators do you expect that would have given you the impression that there's the sense of urgency about the elections coming on?
Yes, I would have thought that at this point, like I was using the limited registration, for instance, we will be doing a lot of public fora discussion and all that, and that has been done in the past. You understand? The Electoral Commission, we are only feeling it in Accra at the moment. The regional offices, the district offices, for me, I don't see the seriousness and the work that should be going on there. If they spent these monies organizing fora and stakeholder consultations and engagement at the lower levels, the electoral area levels, the district levels, and the regional levels, then I would get the sense that, no, we are preparing ourselves towards the elections in 2016. At this point, you are going to do a rebranding. And for me,
we are not done with this subject yet. Kofi, the EC's Osupari had come to explain that, look, they did not come out early enough with the advertisements for the limited registration because we were waiting for CI 91 to mature, because they needed the law to back them to do the things they needed to do. And that's why you saw them come up a bit late. But nonetheless, they feel that they have done enough and people are going about the process. Do you also feel, as a major stakeholder, that the EC doesn't seem too ready for November 7?
So far, I'm very clear in my mind that the EC is ready for November 7. Because, like you said, what do? If you want to organize an activity, you have a law to back it. They've developed the law. A bill was sent to Parliament. The bill has been passed. They made adverts. As we speak now, the revision of the voter register or voters register is ongoing, which will end on the 8th of May. Then the district review committees will sit. There's a schedule as to when they are going to sit. The date for exhibition is known. The exhibition will happen. After the exhibition, the register is certified. The date when candidates can pick forms and return is also advertised and known. So I'm surprised about what anybody will be saying that the EC is not ready, and that because it's an election year, they shouldn't launch a strategic plan. How has the launch of the strategic plan affected the limited registration exercise? How has the launch of strategic plan affected the district registration review committee activity? I do not understand. And let's state fact that this is not a knee-jerk activity or reaction. This has gone through series of processes. Indeed, all political parties were engaged by UNDP reps who came into this country. In the case of the NDC, they visited us about 3 times. So the document that led to this strategic plan was not just developed by Charlotte Osoyo or even just the commissioners alone. There has been participation of all other actors. So it has been a process. this country, Samson, has a 4-year election cycle. And so if you want to launch a plan that will work well towards the next election, you don't wait after one election before what? You do it. You do it within the period of the previous. Then if it's 5 years, by the maturation of that 5 years, you are going into the next election. If truly we want some of the things that they've laid out, as Koku was saying, that they look really very good and wonderful for his eyes and then reading. If you want it to apply towards the next election, this is the best time to do it. So 5-year plan, 4 years election cycle. After this year, the next one will be 2020. By that time, your 5-year is what? Maturing. Then you are able to be seen to be implementing most of the things that you've set out for yourself to do. DPs, development partners, don't put money if they know that there's no value for money audits. They hardly will do so. That is why sometimes when you are asked some questions and people begin to suggest as if you are doing something that is not right, that is underhand, like underhand dealing, some feel offended and then they may end up speaking.
You say you are satisfied with the processes so far towards the election.
So far, nothing tells me that we cannot have elections.
You remember that when the matter went to the Supreme Court, one of the concerns and the recommendations that the Supreme Court gave was to be able to provide the register in good time.
Sure.
Now, the provisional register is going to be made available after this registration that is going on.
Sure.
The objections that are going to come in and the deletion and corrections, everything that's supposed to be made towards a certified register by the process of the law, I think it's supposed to be some within 3 months or so, or roughly some 4 months. We have, is this 6 months?
You cannot do fresh registration within 42 days before an election. That is why there's a particular community in the Upper East that even though they had a Supreme Court ruling that they should be registered.
So my question is that following the process, see when you are going to get a provisional register, and at what time you are going to get a certified register. Does it not look like we are running against time again?
No, not at all. If that is why Justice Atugba was clear, he was the one who made that pronouncement. He was very clear, and he indicated that a provisional register should be made available to what? Political parties. As we speak now, political parties already have the register up to 2014. The current registration, every registration that passes, at close of day, a printout is given to the political parties. So it is not like in the past where you are not giving the daily, every day, whatever pass, they will print and you have a copy with photographs to take home and also do your own compilation.
No, but according to the law, when they are done, the law says in section 22, the commission shall not later than 3 months from the end of the registration period compile a provisional register of voters in the country. Now, when it is done, then at the end of the compilation of the provisional register as provided in sub-regulation 1, a copy of the provisional register shall be given to each registered political party. So the time to give them a provisional register is not now, like
what I'm saying is that
yes.
For purposes of planning and working on daily basis, political parties, of course, that have representation.
But a provisional register is expected within 3 months.
No, registration, the exhibition should be done within. It didn't say that the provisional register must be given 3 months before the election. I think you should.
No, I'm not saying 3 months before the election. It says that it must do the compilation not later than 3 months from the end of the registration period. So I'm saying that a provisional register can only be expected within 3 months after this exercise.
Within and they can do it earlier.
Yeah.
They can actually do it earlier. If you look at the timetable that has come out, that's what I'm saying. I have looked at the timetable that has come out towards the conduct of elections on the 7th of November, the timetable that has come out. when I looked at it, I'm very comfortable.
Okay.
It works within the law, it works within the timetable. But I'm only adding that the current registration exercise makes it possible for political parties that send representatives to the registration centers to receive daily printouts of persons registered every day. So all you need to do as a political party is to add that to the existing register. So for purposes of working document, you will have something, except that it is not what you would describe as the provisional register in its strictest sense.
Okay, sorry, we take a break here. We'll be right back to continue with this particular discussion.
I believe that you will let me conclude.
Kofi, I'll let Kofi conclude on his submissions as far as the EC's preparedness for the 2016 elections are concerned.
So, in concluding, the EC is not also just run by the chairperson. There are other officers involved. Indeed, beyond the commissioners, you also have directors. Indeed, the EC have director of elections whose responsibility it is to liaise with the deputy chair operations to work to make sure that these are persons who have just not come in. They have been there over the years. Mr. Tete has been involved from district level to regions and then now at the headquarters. So these are persons who understand what it is that they are about. And the chairperson currently is not somebody who is new to workings of the commissions. Luckily, she's coming from another commission. So she understands how commissions work, except that this current one puts her in a position of conducting elections. And I believe so far that they have lived up to expectation. She has come in at the time some persons have had a certain agenda. So, of course, it becomes a very challenging situation for you. But over the years, as we move on, I'm sure just as they came to accept Afarijan and attempted to destroy him later and celebrated him, but I'm saying political parties, are they not they?
No, I thought you were talking about.
Are they not they? Okay, the day you easily understand they.
I remember engaging you when you were in opposition.
Yeah.
And I remember when you were in opposition, the way Kobe Fiagbe.
At that time, I remember them saying that electoral commission should not even do IPAC because we have grown over IPAC.
Issues based. All right.
We've grown over IPAC.
Now, since we are running out of time and we obviously can't discuss all our issues.
My just last point is very important, and yet you see, there's been a publication related to registration that, for example, and it came from a very important person that I consider a lawyer's platform, lawyer Isankuma, that Dr. Zaneto Rollins have not registered in this country before, and that is the first time she ever registered. That is wrong information. And
he said, I read it. He said, assuming that.
Then why do you
seem to ignore that? What I find is that there's another of that message that's been copied and edited. He says assuming, and I think that's
first important. And foremost, don't use, knowing what has been going on, you don't use her in that manner. You were seeking to suggest that she has never been on the register, which is false. And for that matter, as a lawyer, don't make such assumptions that people will feed on. The only reason you could not have
How's that related?
It's relevant.
It's
related to registration. And of course, if they are not interested in that one, it's something. My last
There's
point.
been a clarity that she registered, she voted in about 3 different elections.
2004 and in 2000.
And she lost her card or something, and at the time
there was a new register in 2012.
Yes,
by
she couldn't participate.
Out of the country, so she couldn't participate.
Right, that's fine.
But my last point, what has happened in...
Okay, sorry. Let's move on. Yes.
What has happened in Nkwatia?
What is Nkwatia?
It's in Eastern region. In relation to the registration exercise, where the constituency secretary of MPP put people, but he's been arrested. He's been picked up. So it's an important information. To go and kind of molest and brutalize an NDC observer officially having an EC tag must be condemned.
Okay.
And
that's-
are you aware of this?
It's all
claim?
there.
I am aware of the Asokwa situation
Yeah,
where
but this is-
the Electoral Commission itself has issued a statement and said that what happened was obviously wrong, that the people destroyed registration materials and took away use challenge forms containing details of those registrations and so on and so forth. Of course, if you read the CI 91, all of these are crimes that are punishable.
And I think that the people who have
could
been
get you to
arrested,
jail for 2 years.
they should-
Now,
they
sorry,
should
so
be
let's move on.
punished.
No,
But
sorry,
you are
yes, let's move on. Yes, so we are wrapping up.
Well, I want to, I mean, I thought, I said the last part of
Yes,
Kofi's thing,
yes,
I see
yes.
it as very relevant to the discussion.
Yeah, so move on and discuss
all that.
what you
So
want
I
to
will
quickly,
not want to discuss those ones. I thought it was rather not useful.
You don't have the time.
But Samson, when I spoke about focusing and a sense of urgency, I want to give you an example. The Professor Jega Electoral Commission of Nigeria serves some useful lessons, gives us some useful lessons. If we begin now, we can begin to look at the caliber of people we use as presiding and returning officers. If we wanted to get a certain caliber of people, say for instance, polytechnic, university lecturers and professors to be returning officers, 275 constituencies. I know Nigeria is a federal state and the returning officers are at the state levels, but it offers us a lesson. If we began now, okay, we can even get a certain caliber of people at the polling station as presiding officers.
In our
That's what I'm
case,
saying, that
we know that we are going to use national service
persons,
right?
And I'm saying to you that if we rather focused on the 2016 election to even serve as a learning experience to develop a long-term
If the EC is
plan,
capable of doing
we can even
doing both at the same time, you have a problem with that?
Well, but they are not doing both. They are not doing this. They are focusing on, and I'm saying that they can actually even do the two.
Is
and
it
I'm
rather fair
suggesting-
to say
and
they
I'm-
are focusing on just
what I'm saying is that
things?
they are not doing what I am talking about that we should be seen to be doing now
Okay,
to
you
get
are clearly not
Ghanaians.
satisfied
But you
with
see,
it.
again, Samson, I am asking myself, so the Electoral Commission, that the commissioners retire at a certain age, is it the case that we can be changing logos and rebranding and all that? I am worried about the unilateral decision or the powers, as it were. That when
this is a commission.
Yeah,
you have
no,
been told
no,
again.
no,
A commission of
no,
7
Yes,
members.
yes. I'm looking at the Electoral Commission as an entity that took a decision. But for instance, the Judicial Service, for instance, they also can boast of their independence. So can the Judicial Service continue changing logos?
Thank you
and
very
all
much.
that?
Thank you. Let's have a minute of your or 30 seconds.
All these things feed into the perception that there is a grand agenda to undermine the integrity of the Electoral Commission and make it look like the Electoral Commission is not capable of delivering on a free, fair, and transparent election in this country. And that is what all this noise about. They should have been doing this, they shouldn't have been doing that, and they are not following their timetable. Kofi just enumerated a timetable for us, and you even said that it is by law. So clearly, nobody has come to show us that at this point when
The
they should
timetable,
have...
they've already missed 1 point. They are supposed to do this thing long ago, and now
Yeah,
they are not doing it.
because the legal this thing hadn't matured.
The legal process also for the November 7 is
You
still
understand?
in the works.
Yeah, so clearly they are still working within the time that they have arranged for themselves, so long as the law allows. So this whole thing about bastardizing the EC just because Charlotte Osei happened to have been appointed by John Mahama is not an on thing, because Charlotte Osei is not a commission. She is a chair of a commission run by 7 people. So please, let's stop demonizing the woman and demonizing the institution. We were here in this country when Obama came and told us, as if we didn't know, that what we needed was not strong people, but strong institutions. Yet when we are building those strong institutions, then we turn around and try to bastardize the
Thank you very much.
institutions.
Let me move to Kweku. But before I do that, I think the EC statement, I should read it really. Vandalization of registration equipment and disruption of registration. The Electoral Commission has noted with grave concern the vandalization of 8 biometric voter registration equipment at a registration center in Asokwa, Sub-Metro Metro of the Ashanti region. On Friday, the 29th of April 2016, the second day of the ongoing limited voter registration exercise, a group of thugs stormed into the Jinyase registration center and smashed the registration kit into pieces. They also destroyed registration materials and took away used challenge forms containing details of those whose registrations have been challenged, copies of Form 1C and handheld scanner. The Commission strongly condemns such acts of lawlessness perpetrated by individuals whose sole motive is to disrupt the ongoing registration exercise. The public is reminded that there are laid down procedures for addressing any grievance or disputes that may arise at a registration center, and aggrieved individuals are advised to follow the due process. The Ashanti Region Police has arrested one person suspected of having called in the thugs to assist with investigations. We wish to assure the people in the affected area that efforts are ongoing to retrieve their registration data. Meanwhile, the registration process will continue at all centers as scheduled. We urge our registration officers to remain resolute and not be intimidated by such acts while the security agencies take measures to protect them and the registration materials. Thank you. Signed, Amadou Sule, Deputy Chairman, Operations. Kweku.
Incredible. This happened?
Yes, and we're told today that somebody has been beating up. There's this photograph making the rounds on social media of a gentleman who has been brutalized. There are wounds all over him.
Well, I think the police must step up their vigilance and their, security measures to arrest, prosecute, and get a cause to do justice.
Right. I
agree with you.
It's dangerous. They destroyed the equipment.
They did.
Wow.
According to the law, you'll be sanctioned.
Incredible.
You may pay up to 3,000 Ghana cedis and may get a prison term of 2 years in addition.
They should add that the custodial one.
This is when people go to police stations and fire gunshots.
No. You see,
That's what happens.
Oh, please. I'm not looking at the party colors.
No,
that's not what I'm looking at.
No, I'm
if
talking about
election
what
violence,
drives
election-related violence has been here for a long time.
Yes.
We should be a thing of the
Your
past.
comment is enough. Stop reacting. So we should deal with them. They were challenging minors who have come there, and then some people didn't agree why they are challenging the minors who were
The
coming.
police should deal with them.
Sorry, but we have run out of time. Thank you very much.
I'm so sorry. I wanted us to deal with the Ropa thing, but maybe next week.
We'll deal with this some other time. Thank you very much. My guests have been Kweku Bako, Editor-in-Chief of the New Crusading Guide newspaper. Kofi Adams is National Organizer of the NDC, and Pius Hajide is special aide to the Nana Akufo-Addo, who is the presidential candidate of the NPP, and also Kobi Fiagbe. Thank you very much, Kobi Fiagbe. Thank you. He is the managing editor of the Ghanaian Lens newspaper. I'm Samson Ayanini. This show will come your way again. Will be repeated at 9:30 p.m. Have a good afternoon.